All right. Hello, folks that are with me. Welcome to rehearsal. We'll get going here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Let me see here. Let's get my camera angle right. Very important to get those angles correct. Oh, man, my hair is crazy today. I'm telling you. Good to see everybody. Alrighty. Oh, the window is loud. I feel like this is low. Let's do this. All right, there you go. That's a little better. That's a little better. Hi, Judith. Good to see you. Welcome. Right. Let's see here. Let's double check, make sure everything's coming through. There I am. I always check myself. Always make sure that you guys making sure it's coming through. I know I've done this how many times between here and church and all the places I stream, and I still get nervous every time I hit go, thinking it won't go through. Hopefully, I will start to trust it a little bit. Oh, Scott and Becky, good to have you here. Have some Faure tonight. It's all Faure. We're going to work on Faure here, and then we're going to organize in the next couple weeks. You'll get info about this, a music pickup for our last piece. We have one more piece, of course, we're going to do in this spring concert, whatever that will end up looking like. Ole Yellow's The Lake Isle, which will give us a little variance in our music. Hi, Cornelia. Oh, Scott, Becky, don't worry about it. You'll pick it right up. The Latin, I don't know. I don't know how your Latin is, but you'll see. I don't know. You get your Latin dictionary out. We get a little bit of that. We'll do more of that tonight too, everybody. The 3 movements we're going to work on tonight, if you guys want to just start to peruse, is the Introit Kyrie, which we'll finish framing in tonight. We've worked on that the past couple weeks. Then we really just sort of have the last section of that to go over real quick. And then we're going to spend some time on the Liberame, which is, I think, the 6th movement in the piece. The 6th movement in the piece. The Liberame is one of my favorites. It's got one of the best solos in all of choral music, I think. And you all get to sing it. He brings the tune back at the end. So it's got an amazing tune. So fun to sing. It'll be stuck in your head all night. But yeah, I think those are the 3 movements we'll hit tonight. All right. Well, hello. So good to see people rolling in. So great. And I'll talk more about it here when we get officially going at 6. But really, I was filled with a lot of bittersweet emotions about our little homage to the Lift Every Voice Choral Festival, MLK Choral Festival. Bittersweet feelings because it was great to see all that archival footage. Luckily, Sharon and Amy had their cell phones on them and took lots of videos last year, so we were able to celebrate that. But it was sad to see live in person singing, and we were only a few months removed from all this craziness. But it was also really inspiring, not just because the Total Praise recording and video turned out superb because of your work and because of David Sweet's kids at Parkview High School who sent in recordings. But it was also really magical because those Adams Center in Dulles, they are an amazing group, and those kids are fantastic, and those videos are inspiring. And if you didn't see the MLK concert live, it is up on our YouTube channel right where you're watching this now. So after this, or maybe during, if you get bored, don't do that. But you can go and watch that. It's just about 30 minutes, and I thought it was really lovely. Again, I want to do all my spiel about it for our people that come at 6 p.m. But I'll talk more about it here in a little bit. Let me see. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. Let me just check this. All right. Michelle. Misty, yay. Chris, yay. Oh, so I love seeing your names. Again, we're going to do a Zoom one of these soon. These YouTube live ones are nice just to have a record. It's very easy to sort of keep these, but there is a way that we can, and now that I sort of have a while before I have to do some video, a large video edit again, maybe we'll think about it. There is a way that we could broadcast a Zoom call through YouTube Live. So those of you who want to be on camera on Zoom with me, it'd be mostly me, but you could be up there and we could see each other and stuff. But then you could also at the same time, if you were like, I don't want to be on Zoom, I don't want to be on YouTube Live, I want to sit, in my sweatpants with my ice cream in one hand and my Faure score in the other, you could do that as well. So we could kind of get best of both worlds. So I'm going to think about that now that I have a little extra brain space. But it's so good to see everyone. We'll give everyone just a few more minutes and then we'll get going. Again, as a reminder, we are going to work on 3 movements from the Faure Requiem tonight. We're going to finish framing in the introit and Kyrie. And then we are going to work on the then we'll do the Liberame. The Liberame, that'll be a new movement we look at tonight. I think it's the 6th movement in the work. I love it, love it, love it. And then we'll finish with the Sanctus. We finished with that the past couple of weeks, but it's a great way to go into our weekend. And it's what we have to review. Yay to Judas, got it on the first try here on YouTube. I know, and YouTube was acting funky this morning. We do our church service through YouTube, and it was doing weird things this morning. So I got very nervous because I knew we had many events this afternoon on YouTube Live. And so it's really, I'm glad that it's working and we're all good to go. Hey, Victoria. All right. We'll give everyone just one more minute and then we'll get going. I'm going to close a window. Something loud outside. All right. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. And I know folks are still rolling in. I see you rolling in. But welcome to rehearsal here tonight, our 3rd rehearsal. We got folks with us for the first time this semester. We have new folks with us and all of the above. And welcome to the Loud and Crawl. For those of you who don't know, I'm Max Nolan. I am the music director here, and we are working on Faure Requiem. Scott, is that a White Claw? No, I will. I'm going to clear this up, Scott, as I'm trying to introduce myself to new folks. This is an A&W root beer, people, not spiked. Not spiked. Now, after rehearsal, I don't know what beverage I'm planning tonight after rehearsal. But for right now, I am stone cold sober and ready to. I don't think I could play. I don't think I could play well if I had like a glass of wine in me. And it's already touch and go as it is. And so no adult beverages yet in my evening. But anyway, welcome to Loud and Corral. As you can see, we don't have any fun here. I'm Max Nolan, the music director here. And before we get rolling here tonight, I just want to say thank you to everyone who contributed to the Total Praise video, which was a part of our virtual Lift Every Voice Choral Festival. It was a wild white knuckle down to the minute trying to get it together. And every virtual event is really hard to put together, as any of you who have helped contribute to one know it is. But what I was inspired by in this was in all the moments of stress of trying to figure it out, our core groups came through like they always do it. And they wanted either their archival footage to be shown or they sent us new videos. The Adams Beat, I think you all saw those. The children's choir videos are just beyond inspiring, beautiful. And they're an amazing group. Mount Olive Baptist Church let us use their footage from last year, which was super exciting. The Spanish choir from St. John's let us used it. And then of course, how can I forget? And again, thanks to David Sweet. I don't know if he's with us. But Parkview High School sent in many of recordings. David had his kids send those in. David sings with us a lot. And that was fantastic too. And so again, really awesome. And if you would like to be a sort of on the brain trust or the committee that thinks about this event, that thinks about how we work this event, reach out to Sharon or myself. We love to have as much input as possible to see what it has evolved many times, even in my short time being here at the Corral. And again, we like to do events that come from you all. So again, we love your input, and again, super thankful to have you all with us virtually twice today, and we're over at over 200 views on that video as well, which is just awesome too. So anyway, great to be here with you all, and so let's make the music happen. All right, we'll go to a little after 7 tonight. Sort of been how we've been landing the past couple weeks. But before we get going, we want to warm up. So everyone, stretch wherever you are. You could stand if you want, or you could just sit tall. You know, with my kids at school, I'm still teaching virtually middle school kids, and I've sort of given up on making them stand, but I want to make sure their posture is tall. So if you're seated somewhere, try to make sure your posture while you're singing is really good. So roll your shoulders forward. Good. Now roll them back. Good. Scrunch your shoulders all the way up to your ears and relax. Whew. One more time. Scrunch up to your ears. And relax. All right, I want to start with a slightly different exercise than we're used to. We want to do lip trills. Now, lip trills are this. See if you can do that real quick. Some people struggle with that. Some people are rusty at it. Try that real quick at home. Good. If you can't do that, some people can't do it. There's a couple other options. You can roll your R. Or you could do a V. All are very good. Go. A V is also an option. All are valid. All help us. This is called a semi-occluded exercise. And I had a voice teacher once that said it's the best exercise you could do for your voice. So let's all do a lip trill. Here we go. Here we go. Good job, everybody. One more. Going down. Does your face tickle? Good job. This gets our breath going. Get that breath going. One more. Now, unfortunately for you, I bet your tablet screen or your computer screen like mine now just has spit all over it. So singing isn't always glamorous. All right, let's do another exercise. Can we sing? Me, a, me, really nasal. Me, a, me, 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 a, me, 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 a, me, 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 a, me, me, going down. Me, a, two more. One more. Now good. Now I want everyone to sigh. Good. Get up there. Really good. All right. Let's do a little agility exercise. Hip, hip, ho, 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 ho. Ready, go. Hip, hip, ho, 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 ho. Hip, hip, ho, ho, ho. Hip, hip, ho. Hip, hip, ho. Go. Let's do this exercise over again. Really, you kind of want your abs or your stomach, whatever you got there, you want it to sort of jiggle as you go. Hip, hip, ho, 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 here we go. Hip, hip, ho, 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 ho. One more time. Ready, go. Hip, hip, ho, 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 ho. Hip, hip, ho. Hip, hip, ho. Here we go. Hip, hip, ho, 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 ho. Hip, hip, ho. Hip, hip, ho. Two more. Hip, hip, ho. One more. Hip, hip, ho. Good. Two more exercises. One for legato, for smooth singing. It's nivu, nivu, ni. Sing nivu, nivu, ni. Go. Nivu, nivu, ni. 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 Going down. Nivu, nivu, ni. Nice and easy. Nivu, nivu, ni. Nivu, nivu, ni. Nivu, nivu, ni. One more. Nivu, nivu, ni. Great. Last exercise. Here we go. Can we sing. I love to sing. Ready, go. I love to sing. Ready, go. I love to sing. 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 Nice and easy. I love to sing. Two more. I love to sing. I love to sing. Bravo, everybody. Fantastic. All right, take out your Faure Requiem. Everyone's score looks a little different. Again, as a reminder, if you have the PDF of the score, I would suggest that you go through and give yourself some measure numbers, either tonight as you go along, because measure numbers are the easiest thing for me to call out in each movement. If your score isn't numbered with measures, where your sort of rehearsal letters are, like rehearsal A and stuff, is different from the folks who have the rudder score. If you have the rudder score, you're with me and we'll be golden. But again, just a reminder about that. So I'll try to call out both different scores tonight. But folks that have the PDF score, if you go through and give measure numbers to your score, that will really help sort of me in rehearsal, especially if we're able to do some outdoor or some in-person rehearsals and recordings down the line. That will help us move faster. So number those scores, and that will help us all. So we're going to begin with the first movement. We've done some great work on this the past couple weeks and really framed it in. And tonight we just want to finish it. We're going to review and finish. So what I'll do is we'll start with the piece. We'll just run through the whole piece. Then we'll do the ending, hang out some notes at the ending, touch up some tricky notes in the middle, and then we'll sort of have this movement framed in. Now, before we start, I want to do a quick speaking through of the text from the beginning. So we're here on measure 1 through this whole opening slow section. And the reason I want us to speak through it once slowly is so we can practice our Latin, okay? So one more time, I'm just going to say the Latin to you real quick and make notes. So this is in this first page. Requiem aeternam. Go ahead and say that. Requiem aeternam. Dona eis Domine. Dona eis Domine. Et lux perpetua. Et lux perpetua. Luceat. Luceat. Then you say it again. Luceat. Luceat, luceat eis, luceat eis, luceat eis. All right, now let's speak that in rhythm. Can we all speak that in rhythm now? 1, 2, here we go. We're speaking and Requiem aeternam off. Dona eis Domine off. Et lux perpetua luceat off. Luceat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Luceat eis off. Luceat eis. All right, now let's sing that, and then we're going to go on. We're going to go on. Here we go, everybody. And 1, 2. Oh, that was dumb of me. Hear your pitches when you come in. Bass, baritone, tenor 2, tenor 1, alto, soprano. Now here's the beginning. 3, 4, 1, 2. Here we go. And nice and soft. Here we go. Off. Going on. Measure 20 and Requiem aeternam donaeis Domine et lux perpetua luceatis. Measure 30. Requiem aeternam donaeis requiem et lux perpetua luceatis. Here we go, sopranos and altos, and here we go, buddy. And one. We'll go back and do that section, but let's go on for now. Here we go. Kyrie, 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 Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison, eleison, and one. And one. And one. Hold that note out. Off and one. Oh, every time I play through it, I find it's music that sort of wraps itself in your soul. It's so, what I love about this piece before we start working on it, just what's inspiring me tonight about it is it's a work that is at one time incredibly dramatic, right? Big dramatic chords, and yet it is also timeless. And it does both of those at once. It's both in your face, but also totally in the clouds. All right, here's where we want to start working tonight. Well, I know that section in the middle with a lot of those funky notes I just played is a little hard. We'll go back and do that in a second. But I actually want to start, if you're in the Rudder edition of the Faure, the one I'm on, this is letter E. If you're in the PDF, it's 2 after G. It is measure 63. It's when you start singing Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie. Can we speak this once? All right, everyone gets the melody, and then you break into harmony a little bit. Now notice it's the same tune you sang earlier, but with a new text. Kyrie, and of course, Kyrie, Kyrie eleison is Lord have mercy, mercy. Christe eleison is Christ have mercy. You know, as a reminder, you know, the Requiem text is one of the oldest texts that exists in all of sort of Christendom. So much so that the Requiem text itself is actually from the Hebrew burial service. Very, very old. The Kyrie is also an interesting text in that it's not in Latin. It's not actually Latin. It's Greek, right? Kyrie eleison. So it's super, super old, super ancient. When we sing this, we join a large lineage of people. All right. So letter E, measure 63. If you are in my edition, the Rudder edition, 2 after G, and you're in the PDF. Kyrie, here we go. Let's read it again, and then we'll take it apart. 1, 2, 3, and Kyrie, and let's stop there. Very good. Oh, definitely, Scott, silent movie piano vibe. Definitely, that's where they got it from. Anyway, now can I hear tenors and basses? Tenors and basses at letter E, 2 after G. Kyrie. Tenors and basses only. 1, 2, 3, and Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie. So on basses start. Kyrie. Good. Can we do that again? Tenors and basses, tenors and basses. Here, 2, and ready, and Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie. So here we go. Going on. 1. Please stay, please stay, please stay, please on bass. Good, 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 good. Can I hear sopranos and altos now? 63 and 64. Yes, Byron, a little breath in between the Kyries. Not a gasp. Kyrie. We don't want that, but we want to lift. Kyrie. Kyrie. Great question. Sopranos and altos, letter E, measure 63, 2 after G. Here we go, sopranos and altos, ready, go. Kyrie. One. And very nice. Can we start at measure 67? Measure 67. For those of you in the PDF, it's letter H. It's measure 67, and I just want to hear alto and tenor. Alto and tenor, starting at letter H. Letter H, if you're in the PDF, in your PDF, letter H, or measure 67. Here we go. 1. That's the alto note, and tenors, you're eventually going to come in that note as well. Can we start at 65? Misty, just for you, yes, we can start at 65. All right, here we go. Here we go. Altos and tenors at 65. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is a big jump. And actually, I'll play that for you once, altos. That big octave. All right, measure 65, tenors and altos. Tenors and altos measure 65. 1, 2, ready, and. Good. Let's actually do altos alone once. Altos alone at 65. That's such a tricky little part, altos. And again, I love when you guys put stuff in the chat. I can't guarantee I'll see all of it, but man, it is really helpful if I see that stuff in the chat. All right. It helps me know how you're doing. 65. 1, 2, ready, and. Alto. All right, very nice. Now, can I hear tenor alone once at 65? Tenor alone once at 65, and then we're going to hear bass alone, and then soprano alone. Here we go. Tenor alone at 65. 1, 2, tenor, and Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison. Sorry, tenors I messed up for you. My bad. Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison, eleison, eleison. Christe, Christe, Christe eleison, Christe, Christe eleison. Very good. All right, now basses. Your turn, basses. Oh, hi, Sean. As a reminder, we're going to start at measure 63 if you're, or letter E, if you're in the Rudder score, the score you ordered. If you're in the PDF, this is 2 after G. 2 after G if you're in the PDF. And I just want to hear basses. 2 after G for the PDF, measure 63 basses. Here we go, basses. Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, and Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie. Here we go, basses. Kyrie eleison, eleison, eleison. Listen to that last note there, basses. Eleison. Going on. 1. Christe, Christe, Christe eleison, Christe, Christe eleison. So you get measure 75, or if you're in the PDF, letter J, that Christe bass is Christe, Christe. Good. Now I'm going to isolate the sopranos. This is same place, 63 sopranos, but everyone else that's on this call, stay engaged because I'm going to play everything else underneath. I'm going to play the accompaniment underneath the soprano part. So sing along with me this time. All right, so you can start to fill your harmony in. All right, here we go. 2 after G, measure 63. Here we go. Kyrie. 1, 2, and ready. And good. Now let's all do it. We're going to play everything now. Same place, measure 63, 2 after G if you're in the PDF, letter E if you're in the Rudder edition with me. Here we go. Kyrie, everybody. And again, as Byron noted in his question, Kyrie, Kyrie. Oh yes, big accent on Kri of Christe. We want big Christe on all those forte accents. Here we go. 1, 2, floating on air. Kyrie, and the what? And the what? Here you go, basses. Everyone. Freeze there. Very good, everyone. Look at measure 81 where we just let off. If you're in the PDF, one of the older versions of the PDF, that word should be Kyrie. I think it has other words. So make sure that at 81, where we just finished singing that last section, it's Kyrie. All right, everyone. I want to start, though. I want you to look at something musically with me that's really exciting in this moment. I love it. So again, to me, this motive, to me, it's a march, right? And it's like a march in the afterlife. And as we discussed, Faure's perception of the afterlife is not doom and gloom, even though we're going to get to a kind of a intense movement tonight, the most intense part of the piece tonight. It's low on the judgment. It's more on the wonder and the curiosity. So to me, this is like I'm lost in the forest and I'm overwhelmed by things, right? So if you go with me now to where we, so the last section we have to frame in, this is measure, measure, oh my gosh, you can't see, 78, measure 78. If you're in the Faure, the rudder score with me, it's letter F. There should be no singing there. It's just the accompaniment. If you're in the PDF, it's 3 after J, but it's measure 78. And at measure 78, yes, Byron, to all those accents, all those cristes. Now, look here at measure 78. Do you listen to what the accompaniment does? So, right, we're talking about this walk, this mysterious walk through nothingness, of this ethereal walk. And then listen to what happens in the orchestra. So here's this. Right? That's what leads up to you singing Kyrie. Do you see all that chromatic? Nothing spookier in all of music than chromatic music. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start there, and you're all going to come in on the unison. Kyrie. This is measure 78. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. And 1. Kyrie. Off. Last notes. And a reminder, when you get to that final zone, make sure you have good Minnesota O mouth there. All right, I want to go back and review one section before we leave this movement tonight. And then we're going to go to Liberame and Sanctus. But let's go back to measure 50. Everyone go back to me to measure 50. This is our Exaudi. All right. Now, everyone, again, measure 50. If you're in the rudder score with me, the one you ordered, it'll be a rehearsal letter D. If you're in the PDF, it should be rehearsal letter F. But either way, it's when we start singing Exaudi, measure 50. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Catherine. Yes. And in the PDF at K, it is Kyrie again. Yes. Oh, no, sorry. No. Catherine, sorry. In the PDF, it does say Kyrie, but it should be a liaison. So in the PDF, sorry, back in this pack section, as you're finding measure 50, at the letter K in the PDF, it should be Kyrie, not a liaison. So at letter K in the PDF, it should be a liaison, not Kyrie. A liaison. Very good. All right. Now, thank you. Catherine, thank you for pointing that out, clearing it up. Measure 50, everybody. Again, if you're in the PDF, rehearsal letter F, rehearsal D, but measure 50, Exaudi. And can we actually start by speaking this rhythm? The rhythm to me is part of the trouble with this section. Exaudi, everybody. 1, nice, and 2, speaking, and. Exaudi, Exaudi, orationem meam. 1. Ad te omnis caro veniet. Omnis caro veniet. Good. And also, Sean, I just saw in the chat, there is that new PDF, the one Tony found online for us that works beautifully. That is in the description of this video. So Sean's right. It's your section leaders emailed it to you. It's also in the description of this video. It has a lot of the fixes that are in this edition. So again, if you want a new PDF for that, or if you want to compare the one you got, that's all there for you as well. Again, thank you to Tony for finding that. Tony helped find that for us and help us get that. And again, you can download that as well. It's in the description of this video. There's a link underneath. All right, so now let's do some pitches. So can we start with soprano and alto at measure 50? Soprano and alto at measure 50. Here we go. Measure 50, soprano and alto. 1, 2, ready, go. And again, a reminder, altos, that E sharp and F natural are the same note. So make sure you circle that. E sharp and F natural, same exact note. Then, now let's do tenor and basses. Tenor and bass at measure 50. Again, if you're in the PDF, a rehearsal letter F, but measure 50. Measure 50. Here we go. Exalti, if you're a bass, baritone, tenor 1, exalti 1, 2, 3, and exalti. And 1, 2, 3, 2. Off. Good. And again, tenor, same reminder, C sharp at measure 55. C sharp and D flat are the same note. George reminded us of that last week. C sharp and D flat, same note. All right. This is not the last time we're going to go over this section, I promise. But let's do it slowly together, and then we'll finish the movement together, and then we'll go on and look at a new movement tonight. Exalti, everybody. Exalti. Bass, tenor, baritone, tenor 1, alto, soprano. 1, 2, measure 61. Do you want T on beat 3? Yes, T on beat 3 at measure 61. Thank you, Ruth. Exalti, measure 50. Exalti, 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 exalti. Exalti. 1, 2, ready, and exalti, exalti, and 1. Here we go. Let's finish it out. Good job, everybody. We'll go back. We have weeks. Here we go. You got this. Here we go. Kyrie. 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 And basses. One. There's the winding road. Really solid. Bravo, everybody. Bravo, bravo, bravo. All right, Libera Me. Let's do a little work on a little sight reading work on the Libera Me. This is the 6th movement in the piece. If you all want to throw some page numbers in there, in my book, it's page 36 for Libera Me. Now, very interesting thing about this piece we haven't talked about a lot. This piece was actually composed, it's a working piece of music. It was a piece of music written by a working musician. It was written by a guy who had a church job and taught music lessons. And so it's a piece that he changed over and over and over again to suit the needs that he had. And so this movement in the offertory, which we'll get to in a couple other weeks, that the Libera Me was added later. It was the last movement he composed for the work. And it's funny because I actually think in some ways it's a little out of character. We talked about how every movement in this piece is talking about sort of this journey to the afterlife as something mystical, something joyful, something beautiful, right? And this is the Libera Me, which the text of which you can read a translation of, Lord, I pray, deliver me from death's everlasting fire on that great day of judgment, on that last dreadful day when the earth and the heavens shall shake, when the earth and heaven shall shake and tremble, and thou shalt come with thy flaming fire of judgment. And then we sing tremens, trembling, trembling, I stand before thee, right? It is this like dramatic music, right? Super dramatic, super wild, right? And then it breaks into 6/8. And if you listen, it opens with this motive. And this is same key, but it's a completely different. So that's the Kyrie march. And then the march here is much more foreboding. And it's funny. I always, on a personal note, I always struggle with the sort of doom and gloom Requiem text. It's not really part of my personal theology, the way I want to look at life in those types of deals. But one thing I think is I've sang so many of these requiems, many of you have as well, and you're always struck with this text. One, I think composers like to set it because it lets you set very dramatic movie music, right? As we're going to sing through this together in a second, you're going to notice this is movie music. This is definitely dramatic music that gets your blood going. And when we're live singing it, you just want to go crazy. It's one of the most fun parts of the whole piece. So there's this sort of reason. But on sort of an emotional level, I think that sometimes when sort of life is chaotic, and we know something about that these days. When life is chaotic, sometimes it is in those moments that the greatest clarity appears to us. When things are at their most dire, there's a strange clarity that can take over for us. And I think in this piece that's what this movement does, because as a little preview, when this movement ends, we're left with as sort of dark as we can go. And it's followed instantly by the most sublime part of the whole piece. The In Paradisum. And so it's almost like we have to go through this. We have to go through this tough text. We have to go through this dramatic music in order to get to that clarity in that piece. At least that's how I'm thinking about it these days. One of the hallmarks of a great piece of music, I had a great teacher tell me, is a piece of music or a work of art is great is if you can keep going back to it. If you can keep going back to that work of art and something new hits you every time. And like I told you all, I've conducted and worked this piece more than any piece in my short career. Every time I come back to this, I'm different and the music is different to me. So that's what's really speaking to me through this music today. So let's give it a sight read. I want everyone to sing the baritone solo, mostly because you all have to sing this melody later in the piece. Everyone sings this melody at the end after the soloist is done, right? And also, it's like fun. So I want everyone to turn on their opera brain. And if you're not comfortable with the Latin right now, we'll go back and hit the Latin. But for right now, you could just sing it on da 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 or dee 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 do do do, whatever nonsense syllable you want. I'm going to sing it on text. But again, find your inner opera singer for this. All right, here we go. Here we go. Libera me, Domine, de morte eterna, in Quando cieli moventi sotto, quando cieli moventi sotto e terra, tu veneris iuricare seculum perie. Here we go. Then the choir comes in. Tremens. Now, pause. Right where I'm about to play. I'm going to sing with you all here. We change meters. So suddenly, instead of it being 1 and 2 and we're in 6/8. Bum, 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 bum. And again, we'll go over this in more detail in the weeks to come. But just as you're sight reading along, I want you to know. So here we go. This is pick up to measure 53. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Here we How'd everyone do? How'd that go? Oh my gosh, hold in there. And before we go on, I'll tell you where we are. We're at where you all come in at Liberame. Liberame. It's measure 92. Liberame. That's where we all are. We all sing this together. We're going to work on this section tonight. Ready, and Liberame Domine de morte quando cieli moventi sotto, quando cieli moventi sotto e terra, tu veneris iuricare seculum perie. Then the soloist. Liberame Domine de morte eterna, liberame Domine. I bet you all nailed it, right? Perfect, right? Right off the bat, you're perfect. We don't even need to rehearse it, right? I know. Nothing worse than a meter change in the middle. We're not going to focus on that meter change tonight. What I want to focus on instead is the end of this piece. So let's all find it together because that's one of the hard things here. All right, so we are going to go back to measure 92. It's where everyone comes in on Liberame. It would say all voices, Liberame, Liberame. All right, it's measure 92 or letter F, and you're in the rudder edition of Faure. It's sort of in an awkward place if you're in the PDF. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 measures after H if you're in the PDF. But it's where we all come in on Liberame, Domine, all voices. All right. And all I want to do right now is for us to learn the melody and learn the text. That's our goal here, is to learn the melody and the text. So let's learn melody first. Okay. Now, you'll probably have noticed that the half notes in this feel Carlton. All right, Carlton, we'll help you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 measures after H if you're in the PDF. And then letter F, if you're in the rudder. Measure 92. It's where we all come in on liberame. Now, everyone, we have the half notes, okay? Sean says for the new PDF, top of page 25. And that's why, and this sort of find your measures. Misty, great question. So when we get here, the way it's written is sopranos and altos should be up here in the treble range. That being said, if you're an alto that wants to drop in places, that's always allowed. But it is intended that we be in octaves with each other. Okay, so what I want to do is, before we learn the text, I want us all to just learn the melody. So I want everyone to sing on da da da. All right, here we go. Da, da, ready, and da, 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 All right, very good, very good. Now back to where we started. Go back to where that last section just was, okay, where you sing libera. And let's learn the text. So get your text marking out, all right? So everyone say libera. And that's a flipped R. Libera, libera, libera me, domine. Say domine. De morte, and you can do a little fun with that R. If you can roll your R's, you can put a little R on there. De morte, the morte is obviously death. De morte eterna. De morte eterna. In die illa, tremenda. And that's another one where you can play with the R. Tremenda, clearly meaning tremendous, right? Big old day of judgment. Illa tremenda, in die illa. Illa, that one goes on. All right, going on. Quando cieli, again, that's an AE that makes the C have a ch sound. Quando cieli, movendi sunt. Quando cieli, movendi sunt. Et terra. And you really, terra is earth, and you really fall from earth there. Et terra. Good. And then you sing dum veneris, judicare, seculum, per inem. And that's a nya sound. So inem. All right. Now let's speak it in rhythm. So go back to liberame. Go back to the beginning of that section. And let's speak it now. Okay. In rhythm. 1 and 2 and ready and liberame domine de morte eterna in die illa tremenda in die illa quando cieli movendi sunt, quando cieli movendi sunt, et terra dum veneris judicare seculum per inem. Requiem. Bravo. All right, now let's try singing that nice and slow. Go back to that section. Liberame. We're all in unison. Now, some of you have noticed, if you're very astute, which many of you are very astute musical people, note that what I'm doing to that dotted quarter note, I'm double dotting it, right? Liberame Domine. All those dotted quarter notes for this melody line in this section, you should all double dot. Make them very royal, dramatic, and crisp, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, sing. Liberame Domine de morte eterna. Tremenda il Diera quando cieli movendi sunt, quando cieli movendi sunt, et terra cum veneris iuricare securum peniem. Very nice. Now, everyone go with me to the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measures. Last 6 measures. Let's learn these while we're here. We'll clean this up. Last 6 measures where you all come in on Liberame Domine. Last 6 measures, everybody, where the choir comes in. Let's learn these notes. So let's start with sopranos and altos. Last 6 measures of this movement. Here we go. Ready and soprano, alto. Liberame. One more time, soprano, alto, ready, and 1. Yes, Nyem at 122. Yes, Sean, to your question. Yes, to Nyem on 122. Last 6 measures, basses and tenors. All right, so basses and tenors, you start on unison D and then you split. If you're a bass, Liberame. If you're a tenor, Liberame or Liberame. All right, here we go. Ready and 1. Liberame. Oh, what cool harmony. Let's do that one more time. Liberame. Oh, that's such a good chord. All right, tenors and basses. Here we go. Ready and 1. Everybody now, last 6 measures. Last 6 measures, everyone. Let's finish this, and then we'll do a little sanctus, and then we'll end our evening. Ready and 1. And then, of course, and then, you know, this swans and angels. It's the best thing. Oh, I would love to eat this piece. It would be delicious. This is like a 7-course meal. All right, let's do a little sanctus, please. Everyone find the sanctus movement. Sanctus movement. We've done this. We've ended our rehearsal with sanctus every week, and I think it's mostly because the ending is just so glorious. Hosanna. And we're not going to go into super detail on this night, so if you're just joining us tonight and you feel to yourself, oh my gosh, that's sanctus, I had no idea what was going on. Remember, you can go back. All of our past rehearsals are here on YouTube, all of our past rehearsals. And you don't even have to watch the whole thing. You just drag your clicker through where I'm playing the notes for sanctus, and you can listen to that. Again, it's one of the really cool things. There's so little that's good about our current situation that finding the silver linings can help. And one of those silver linings to me is we have this bank of rehearsals. So if you miss a week for some reason, and this will be in the future, I mean, even once we're in person again, I really just think there's no reason, now that I know how, that we can't stream and keep these rehearsals accessible to people at different stages in their life. And so that's something that's always already pricking my head. But if you want more notes or more specifics about the Sanctus, you can go back and listen to those rehearsals where I really plunk things out. But tonight we're just going to really run through it a few times to get it in our system. All right, we'll do one for review, a little under tempo. We'll do one that's really under tempo, and then we will and then we'll go full tilt. All right, so here we go, people. Sanctus. Song. Remember, I think of dolphins. To me, you're dolphins. Sanctus, sanctus. Maybe you're a killer whale. Maybe you're a seal. Sanctus, sanctus. You know, the sopranos and altos at the beginning, you are overlapping with one another in this sort of balletic way. Is balletic a word? Someone look it up for me. All right, balletic. That feels wrong. I feel like that's like a medication of some kind. Take balletic. You know, it's like a Hulu commercial. Throw me a fish. Exactly. Now I'm thinking of the Swedish chef. Like, no, we must get serious again. Sanctus. All right, here we go. Sanctus. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. Soprano. Tenor bass. Deus, Here we go. Off. Good, then the violin plays off. Very nice. A couple things I want to point out, and then we'll run it one more time, and then we'll be done for the evening. One thing I want to point out in this, balletic's a word. Very good. Very exciting. It is root beer, Michelle. I swear it's root beer. It's not even spiked. All right, here we go. So, but I'm just zany, everybody. It was the craziest. I mean, I feel like we can't say it's been a crazy week. Every week is. Has anyone had a normal week in like the better part of a year? I don't think so. So, but when I get here, I get I mean, this is so cheesy. I get so happy to be in just. This is my time, and I hope it's a time for you to. We're just in music. We're just loving and living in music together. 60 some people doing the same thing at the same time is just super inspiring, and that's how I feel. Victoria, yes. Before we do a final run, measure 20. Great question. Can we do the measure before it, Victoria? This is measure 19. Measure 19. And Victoria, if I had to take a wager, what's tricky about that moment is we have a little key change there. It's do. There's a half step between F and E natural. Because your ear is used to E flat, and you have to. There's a big key change there. change keys like you change keys like 4 times. Change keys like 4 times in that just that one sort of 4 measures there. But that's what that measure is. All right. And the other thing, I was a bad leader. I was a very bad leader. You do not pronounce the H in Hosanna in Latin. I'm thinking of, Palm Sunday here at church in America. It's Hosanna, no H, no Hosanna, Hosanna. Hosanna in excelsis. All right, let's do this one more time and call it a night, folks. I love looking at this chat. Sharon, what is normal, right? Really, Sharon, I adore you for I adore all of you for who you are. All right, let's go before people start, until you've had enough of our craziness. All right, here we go. The trick with this movement to me is this movement is one crescendo, one giant crescendo, and then one very short decrescendo at the end. So one long crescendo that goes through the first 50-ish measures until we get to Hosanna, and that's the peak, right? So the trick for us, and trick for me as a conductor has always been when I do this movement, and the trick for you as a singer is going to be holding back. You have to hold back. You have to really hold back some of that volume, some of that energy until you get to that big final moment. I love beluga whales. Sharon, to your point in the chat. I think whatever sea life you want to be here. All right, here we go. Last thing we'll do tonight, be your favorite sea animal. This has just gone off the rails in the best possible way. I wish we could all go to like a winery together right now. All right, here we go. Someday. All right, Sanctus. All right, here we go. Remember, one giant crescendo. I'm going to do my best too. I'm going to try my best too. All right, here we go. 1, 2, soprano, alto. Tenor bass. Here we go. Here we go. Let it rip. Now diminuendo. Softer. And 1, 2, tenor bass. So, soprano alto. So, everybody. Perfection. I love it. All right. Well, thank you all so much for having. I'm a good countertenor. I teach middle school music. I sing in falsetto. It was such again, double thanks to those who worked in organizing the really intense run up to our run up to the Lift Every Voice Festival. And thank you all for being here tonight and bringing such joy and energy to the chat, to this rehearsal, to be with us in this time. It's I just always leave here feeling like $1,000,000, and that's 100% because of you. And so thank you. Get those measures numbers, and then in the next couple weeks, you're going to start to see, hopefully I hope to have some rehearsals with Beverly soon. Get those measures numbered so that we can really all be on the same page when we're in rehearsal. And most importantly, take care, stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and stick with each other. All right. We're going to get through this all. All right. I love you all dearly. Have the best nights. Bye.